Good morning, everyone. This is Lopan Yudrin at Lakchong Gotsel in Oakland, California. You probably know me already. And today I'm going to show you how to make a Damchen Chi Tor, the general protector torma, in the Dudjom Tersar style. And in the particular, in the particular system I'm using is the one that I was taught to me by Lama Tarchen Rinpoche, who was trained by Dudjom Rinpoche, and his assistant Kusho Gyerme. Rinpoche was raised by Dudjom Rinpoche spiritually raised by Dudjom Rinpoche from the age of 9 in the Kongpo area at Dudjom Rinpoche's center up there. All those lamas they're called. The center is called Lamaling, and the original lamas from those centers have all, as far as I know, passed on. The 4 people that did the 3-year retreat under Dudjom Rinpoche there, Kyabje Dudjom Rinpoche, are no longer with us. And Lama Tarchen Rinpoche was a master artist, so you'll see this style. It may be, even if it's exactly the same tormas as the back, this is the front, without a fancy gotram on the top, just an intermediate level of ornamentation. You may go, wow, that's thick, that's big, that's tall. If you're trained by other lamas, and they're not incorrect. They were trained in their way, but this is the sort of mid-20th century style of Damchen Chi Tor from from Kongpo. Rinpoche, Lama Tarchen Rinpoche, Dorje Rinpoche told me Lama Tarchen Rinpoche trained all of them in how to make these tormas. So, all the next generation, or slightly younger people, and then it's going on from there. So anyway, since we have this model that Drup and Freddie made in 3-year retreat, it's plastic. He made the original design. Rinpoche, I saw him working with Tarchen Rinpoche on this model. Rinpoche is very exacting in Dharma art. Sorry about the dog barking. It's the way it is here in Oakland. I'm going to close the door. So I saw him refining it again and again with Freddie La, and so we can be absolutely confident, even though I'm not a master torma maker. Lama Tarchen Rinpoche definitely was. So the Damchen Chi Tor, this is a big torma. You need quite a bit of dough here. Let me bring this back here so you can kind of see scaly. I'm kind of working originally with this size ball. I'm going to need a knife. Notice I don't have one here. The dough is quick oats, water, and I use a little bit of oil. Corn oil works fine. And then the key, if you're wondering why your dough isn't turning out, well, you probably you put too little water in it, or you didn't knead it enough. So you end up with a smooth surface like this because you kneaded the heck out of it. Make sure your hands are clean when you're working on tormas, very clean. And also in the torma dough, you want to put some mendrup or dutsi. So the way I'm doing it, everybody has their own ways. I'm using a clean cutting board to roll out a conical shape, kind of. And then, so I'm doing that. Now I'm going to put my glasses on because I'm old. And these guys really, you want the fast torma makers, Tibetan mostly, they use this shape, and you'll see that it comes out to be a Coke bottle shape because of the natural shape of your hand. Coke bottle, that dates me, right? Now we have Mexican Coke bottle in California, and so they're pretty similar. So the main thing is you don't want to press. I'm noticing because I just did it. You want to make little motions in general, and symmetrical motions with your hands. Otherwise, if you jam your thumb in there, unfixable, and you have to start back over again. If you made this hole too shallow, you can always fix it, but like a haircut, you make it cut off too much, it's nothing to be done. Out the sides. So you don't want to smoosh this middle part here. And you want it to have it protruding. That's going to be the major boo-boo that you make. But we'll see what kind of quality we get. So I'm kind of working on the back, and I'm running my thumbs down. Like boom, 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 boom. Down the back of it gently. You can't see it underneath this thing. Gosh, like that. It's a little bit pointy in the front. But be careful. Don't dent it too much. Right now, the front looks just terrible. And then you're using this kind of action. That's what I do anyway. I have too much on the top here, and because the dough is so squishy, I can still fix it. If you have non-squishy dough, that would be very difficult to fix. Generally, you don't cut off the top of the torma when you're working with it, because it always will look wounded afterwards. You don't want a wounded torma, do you? This early Lama Ling style torma making, Tarcha Rinpoche, based on Tarcha Rinpoche's experience, not only making them for Dudjom Tersar in Tibet, but also after he came out of Tibet in exile at the Rinpoche, I think it was Kalampong. Someone can correct me if you wish. Tarcha Rinpoche ran the protector temple at one of Dudjom Tersar's centers. Ran it meaning he was the lama in charge of making all the tormas every single day. He never started that going at Pamosling. It's interesting. For their special protector temple at their center. And so anyway, it'll be close to what your lama does, and then you adapt. Many have made them more flat and less football player linebackery. Yeah. Ooh, I made it even thicker than the lama. Did I? Let's see. Yeah. And wider at the base. Hard to know. No, not wider at the base. So we have a long time to spend together to get this right. Dough is like half your struggle with getting these guys right. Once you have good dough, you're halfway there. Okay? The back is sticking out a little bit too much, seems like. What are we going to do with that? I'll try to mess with it. Using this and this is kind of a flat shape, and then cutting off this bottom edge. Wow, it seems to have worked. So tormas, what do you want them? You want them symmetrical, right? So I'm going to finish up making this symmetrical, and by running my pat, 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 make it less bumpy. Pat, 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 everything. But we make, I never said we do paper again. These are made out of plastic from a little factory we got going in 3 Retreat for making plastic ornaments. It's not easy. It's not, and you can't buy them, sorry. It's an expensive process. So far, nobody's set up that kind of factory, and it's very big deal to have that kind of thing in your basement or whatever. Okay, I've gone on and on and on and on much longer than I theoretically should, and then what I'm going to do now is a very important step that Drupa and Freddie taught me. I'm going to step back and look from a distance at the symmetricality of my torma. It's not too bad. Too bad. Quite often when you step back, you'll see that there's totally asymmetrical. So the only thing that saved me under these circumstances, although the surface still isn't cooperating with me very well, is the symmetrical use of hands. Okay, friends, so we had a good long time there. 27 minutes and 52 seconds to make the basic shape. And this is going to go on. We have quite a bit more work to do on this because there's a tepkyu on the back, and I don't know if this is called a tepkyu on the front. Might be. Make it it's kind of a heart shape on this one. And when you, Magnus taught me, now of Pema Osling, formerly of Conradling, that you can put a little foot in, especially if your torma is dry, with your finger, shoot, and then you kind of zoop your addendums into that space. Okay, I'm going to smooth this surface one more time. Gosh darn it. Come on, baby. Cooperate. And then look at all these tepkyu in the back. This is a tepkyu. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those 8, and this is actually a flame. Even though we might call it a lotus petal, because it looks more like a lotus petal. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just pretending to count. I know how many there are. So see, there's 8 on each side. There are other traditions where there's 9 on one side and 8 on the other, I believe. Okay. So then you see there's a natural hollow here in the back. If you kept this rounded ridge going, then you put these guys like this. And they're going to have to be pretty small. The main problem you come up with is getting to the top and realize you've made them too big, but they go from big to small. Take this, boom, and then boom. See? Can't quite get rid of everything I wanted to show you. Right? 3 fingers. Some Pema Dorje did 2 4 fingers. They look very nice too. Tarchin's way, I think, we were taught was 3 fingers. Have I told you how grateful I am that you want to learn about tormas? Very grateful. So I keep making little mini dents all the way up as I go. It's okay if the torm does sticky, then it'll stick. But having that little indentation before you go, I'll make sure and show you at some point. I know you just missed that. Is boon. It's a big one. It's a big one. Oops, I didn't show you. Silly me. Okay, we got to start bringing these down gradually in size as we ascend the torma. Got 2 there. We don't want to make them too big, otherwise we are in trouble. See that? Happy little trees, right? I hear myself talking like, you know who, the happy little tree guy. Or maybe you don't. You know how popular those programs are now? Bob Ross. If I made an AMSR version of this, AMSR or ASMR? If I whispered through all this, I could get thousands of torma makers going. Okay. Keep going, folks. It's okay to go faster than I do. Okay, dokie. So that is a adequate Damchen Chi Tor. Boom. Boom. You could make it, you can see how you could make it more perfect. And then what do we do? Actually, we should have done this earlier. Put a little suction cup in the bottom of this thing by just putting a little finger in there. And then what will happen is that the Chipin who's carrying this around be ever so grateful. This one probably wouldn't fall over anyway. But when you have a suction cup in the bottom by putting a dent in the bottom, they kind of swoop onto the plate, and then you have a guarantee against things falling over. So it's more important for the little skinny ones like the Gartor and the Tenma sisters. Every little time you manipulate this thing, it's gonna change. Shloopy shloop. Okay, there you go. Damchen Chi Tor. I'll just show you the model again. Dupe. Oopsie doopsie. Always we need the wonderful hot glue. Make that go back on there. Okay. And then we don't put all that gen array for everyday use here at the house. We do a smaller, we do 2 gen on the bottom here, big, smaller and bigger. And then we don't have a mast on here going up with a sun moon array. or the 5 or the array of 5 in the front for every day torma use. And when I say every day, I don't mean that actually. You're supposed to make this before you go to work. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. That's the Damchen Chi Tor. From that step, we take some ghee and melt it. And while that's melting, you get some big brushes of red paint. And you can just, by paint I mean food coloring. Dilute the food coloring a little bit so it's not blood red. Add just a few drops of yellow, and that'll make it pop with a kind of orange color. Orangey red. Just a little bit of yellow in the red makes it less blood colored, which Lamatar Rinpoche did not like, and then more glistening. Wonderful. Paint it all over. You don't need to be fussy about that. People, when you're first making it, you think, I have to go just carefully, just slather that stuff on with a big brush, and then take a little brush and fill in all the little gaps between the tepu and so forth, so you don't miss any spots. And you're done. Because it doesn't matter if you have 1 coat or 2 coat, it doesn't look bad, unlike paint. And then you take that melted ghee, which now is probably burning on the stove by then. Make sure you don't do that. And you put the ghee on top of the red. And it's good to have one brush reserved for white tormas that don't get any food coloring on them. And for the gheeing of it, have a permanent cheapo brush there that's just for buttering. And then the others, it doesn't take on all that much red food coloring on the brush, but when you have ghee on it, but some, so you don't want to get that on your other colored tormas, so have one reserved for red. And that's it. Thank you all for watching, and please make tormas. Bye.